White House Chief of Staff Rahm Emanuel made it clear over the weekend that he's going to try to sell the voters on the idea that Republicans are actually responsible in large part for the oil spill. He even targeted the son of our next guest as one of those who's in his sights.
Rand Paul running for Senate in Kentucky. What did he say? He said the way BP was being treated was un-American. Other members of the Republican leadership have come to the defense of BP and attacked the administration.
Joining us now from Washington, the father of Rand Paul, Republican Congressman Ron Paul. Well, there they go again, beating up on your son. How does that make you feel?
Well, it's part of politics, and people who are insecure have to go and attack somebody else and make up stories. I have no idea what Rand said or what they're talking about, but that's, I guess, the way.
Well, you know, the irony, Congressman Paul, is that you and Rand have been very critical of all of the benefits that BP has been getting in their relationship with working with the government, and specifically with the Obama administration.
Oh, well, yeah, you know, BP is a big government corporation. They're in bed with government. We provide a lot of protection for their oil rigs in the Middle East, and of course, they're for cap and trade. And
that's right.
I think this whole thing about setting up this fund satisfies both the politicians and BP. Because, you know, they've agreed to this, and this sort of is a PR stunt as far as I'm concerned. BP had already been making a lot of payments to people who had been injured. My point is they've
hold
caused
on,
damage.
before you go any further, let me just ask, because a lot of people would say, wait a minute, $20 billion payout, that doesn't sound like much of a benefit for BP. How does that benefit BP to have this fund?
Well, they have to pay. Everybody knows that, and I think they know that too. So they might as well, you know, concede to this. But I don't think as BP as being a good example of the free enterprise system. You know, I think that they're very much in tune with big government. And here, and the process is sort of suspicious. And you know, under what law have they done this? Not even an executive order, not even a congressional approval. And here they're dealing with $20 billion. I think they should pay $100 billion if there's $100 billion worth of damage.
Yeah.
But I think
they should pay everything. By the way, isn't there an actual provision in this supplemental bill that they're trying to push through Congress, $100 billion or whatever it is now, for some of the cleanup that BP should be paying? That is, aren't they hoisting some of the costs of this on taxpayers instead of BP?
That's right, and that's exactly opposite of what it should be. It should be the corporation that did the damage should pay for this. So I just don't, you know, like the process. I think they should pay. And there are legal ways of doing this, but I'm very suspicious of how this has come about. And this whole idea that somebody defends, you know, the rule of law, and say that you shouldn't beat up on a corporation and drive them into bankruptcy. Yeah, they should be dealt with in a legal fashion, and hopefully they don't go bankrupt. Fortunately, they're a wealthy company. Yeah. So but they should pay the bills, and I think they're capable of doing this. But, you know, this whole idea that you have to close down all the oil wells in the Gulf, and that means it will hurt BP even more, plus all the oil companies, plus all the people who now are going to lose their jobs in addition. And this is absurd to say that because Obama issues an order, closes down all the other oil rigs, that they make BP pay for that damage. They have enough to pay for.
Well, they do, although, again, they're foisting some of it on taxpayers by putting it in the bill, and because of their cozy relations with the administration. If cap and trade passes, because they are the largest producer of natural gas in this country, they could benefit many times over what they're paying out in that $20 billion fund through cap and trade, right?
And I've heard talk, and we don't know exactly what the tax ramifications will be. Maybe they'll essentially get all their money off their taxes or something. Maybe they'll consider this a donation or who knows what. But I suspect there's a lot about the agreement that we don't know about, probably will never know about. Somebody asked me what did I think about the conversation they might have had. Well, I can't characterize it. I wasn't there. I'd like to see the transcript. But what do you think the odds are that we'll get to audit that transcript?
Probably
I don't think we'll get to know.
Probably be easier to get the minutes from the Federal Reserve Board, as you well know.
Yeah, find out what they're doing.
Although, final, very quick question. Next time Rahm Emanuel starts pointing his fingers at you and your son as being friends of BP, why don't you just point it right back and say, you are the guys who are more friendly than we are?
Well, I think that's a perfectly good answer, and that's one thing that I've been fighting against for a long time, and I think you essentially agree with me on this, that the partnership between big business and big government is not capitalism. That's that's crony capitalism, or, you know, interventionism of the Keynesian type, which I strongly disapprove of.
We do as well. Ron Paul, good to see you. Thank you very much for being here. Well, the White House says it will appeal.